6-card PLO is complicated, and if you're like most people, you are making huge preflop errors without realizing it. Today I'm going to uncover these mistakes. I'll show you why opening high pocket pairs costs you EV, whether middling connected cards are any good, and give you simple rules for open raising, so by the end of the video you will never make a preflop blunder again. And if you're wondering why should you listen to me, here is recent results of members of the mentorship group from the public 1-2 games. They are crushing the game for over 8 BB per 100 using exactly the same information as in the video. If you want to learn more about the mentorship program, check out the link in the description. Let's get started. In our first hand, we are playing 1-2 on GG Poker and get dealt double suited queens on MP. If you're opening this hand, you are simply burning money. When opening from middle position, there are obviously 4 more players left to act, meaning 4 chances to face a 3-bet. That's a disaster for this hand, as we are going to suffer greatly on all kinds of flops in low SPR. We are not only significantly behind aces and kings, but also ace-x double-suited hands, which dominate our suits. This hand should go straight to the muck. The same goes for this next hand. Despite having 2 high suits, we perform poorly against an ace-ace heavy 3-bet range due to the lack of coordination with the rest of the cards. On top of that, not holding an ace significantly increases the chances of getting 3-bet. So the simple heuristic here is don't play hands that get demolished by a 3-bet when there are several players left to act. Ace 10-10-7-5-4, for example, not only has higher equity versus a 3-bet range, but also reduces the frequency of 3-bets, since the ace of spades heavily blocks main re-raising hands. So, to sum it up, pocket pairs are very vulnerable to 3-bets when opening from early or middle position. That's why you either want pocket pairs with coordinated side cards, or reduce the likelihood of facing a 3-bet by having an ace in your hand. If you love playing this next nice looking connected middling hand, I've got bad news. In 6-card PLO, this is a trash hand, barely strong enough to open from button. In game where 80% of all hands are double or triple suited, a queen high suit is easily dominated. A good rule of thumb is avoid playing queen high hands unless you have exceptional connectivity, such as 1 gap or less across all 6 whole cards. This king high hand, despite being nicely connected, is the bottom of my raise first in range from MP, while 3 gaps, queen 10 and 9, are still acceptable for king high hands. The fact that we only have 2 Broadway cards is a major disadvantage. It makes us less likely to hit high 2 pairs, which is crucial. More on that shortly. For now, remember this. 2 Broadway cards are often weak and should be let go. 3 Broadways with a few gaps are often good enough, and 4 or more Broadways are strong MP opens. What about ace-x hands? Ace king queen 9-4 deuce double suited with 2 clean high suits and 3 Broadways certainly looks like a fine MP open, right? Incorrect. The hand makes a lot of medium strength combos like top and bottom, which are weak in multi-way pots. With 4 players behind, we want hands that play well both multi-way and out of position, and bare top and bottom is the exact opposite of that. That's why I like to introduce another simple guideline: bad hold'em couples. If an ace-high hand contains 2 cards from this group, it's often too weak to open. The power of bad hold'em couples is clear in this next example. Ace queen 10-7-3 deuce double suited is ranked 38 in raw equity ranking, clearly a bad MP open. But by swapping out the bad hold'em couple, 3 deuce, for let's say 5-4, the hand suddenly jumps to nearly top 10 rank, clearly strong enough to play from any position. And lastly, the final piece of the puzzle. Because we have to be very selective, we need another way to hand select. Otherwise, we end up with way too wide a range and get punished hard. For example, Ace Queen Jack 10 9 5 is a single suited hand with 4 spades, which is simply too big of a disadvantage in a game where most hands are double suited. Similarly, Ace King 9 8 6 4 double suited doesn't contain a bad hold'em couple, but it's still just a 2 Broadway hand. As mentioned earlier, these are generally quite weak. Combined with multiple gaps and weak suits, this hand is barely good enough for a button raise first in, let alone early position. The same logic applies to non-ace-x hands. As mentioned earlier, having 4 of the same suit, or worse, being single suited, is a big disadvantage in the format. Both King 10 8 6 5 4 and King Jack 10 8 7 5 fall into the trap and should be mugged. This next one is a bit trickier. At first glance, it might not seem like a bad hand, but the lack of high suits is just too much to overcome. Remember, in 6 max, only ace high and king high suits really matter. A hand with 2 middling suits is destined to get dominated post-flop. And lastly, despite the strong looking connectivity, we cannot ignore the fact that most of the suits are weak and we don't have a relevant high suit. Let this one go. You don't want to get dragged into big pots with marginal hands like this one.